Hello again. It's been a couple of weeks because I've just been very, very busy. Last weekend I was completely booked. It's Monday, it's Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and it is currently 13 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So I figured this would be a good time to go by some of the local supermarkets and shopping centers and see if people don't want to walk or take the bus. I'm going to give it a shot. It's really, really cold. This morning it was actually 2 degrees and I was walking my dog. So I now officially have the Uber approved app now. That's the old one from like a few years ago. I'm probably gonna throw that out. Here's a new one. So that goes there. And somewhere in here is my Lyft one. There you go. Now, you know you're supposed to attach these to the window, but I don't know if they're removable and I don't want to drive around with them when I'm not driving with them. So I gotta figure out a system to keep them up legally without actually sticking them to my windshield. So that's something I'm going to work on. Going to turn on the apps and get started. Did a little research on how to do both at the same time on one device. Basically, the Lyft app's in the background, because if the Uber app is in the background, after a few minutes, it stops saying that you're active. So yeah, let's see what's going on out there today. Hopefully I get something. I still got at least $100 to go before I meet my monthly quota, according to my budget. We'll see what happens. So I'm at the local Fairway, and I'm currently one of 7 local Uber drivers in the area and 8 local Lyft drivers in the immediate area, all within a 1-mile radius. How much gas do I want to waste to go somewhere else? There is a downtown area, and apparently nobody's there. It's not so much shopping as it is just kind of restaurants, but there's also a lot of businesses there. Might be worth a shot. Give it a try. So it's about a little under 2 hours since I started driving. I've had 3 Uber rides and 1 Lyft ride. I was supposed to have a second Lyft ride, but the guy canceled. And the interesting thing is that when I accepted the ride, it opened up Waze, which is my preferred navigation app. Except it took me home, not where I was supposed to go. And I only realized this after a few minutes because they were broadly in the same direction, except I turned left when really the guy was to the right. And it was like, wait a minute, something's not right here. And then I got unfortunately, there was an accident and the road was closed. I had to make a U-turn. And by that time, the guy had canceled. And I didn't get a cancellation fee because I'd made a U-turn. I was not technically on the way to the ride. So, yeah, anybody using the Lyft app, double check. Because it's, just make sure if you're using an external navigation app, make sure you're going to the right place. Interestingly, I like the Uber app a lot better. They give you a lot more information at a glance. The navigation is a lot easier to understand if you want to use it. And overall, it's just, you don't have to tap as much to know what you want to know about the rides. That's it. All right, gonna switch off. I'm gonna go for about another hour and a half. Hopefully my bladder can hold out. If not, I'll find a pizza joint around here. See you in a bit. One more thing. Apparently, Uber takes a larger chunk of the fare out of your pocket. I had 2 very similar rides, one with Lyft, one with Uber, where it was approximately the same length, give or take a quarter of a mile, and Uber took about 50% of what the customer paid. With Uber, the customer paid X amount, I got Y amount. Y was about 50% of X. So whatever the customer paid, I got about half. With Lyft, it was a little bit shorter, so it was a little bit less. Customer paid a certain amount. I got about 70%. So Lyft took a smaller chunk out of the fare than Uber did for a similar ride. Now, Uber does charge more than Lyft on average. So maybe it'll even out. I don't know. I got a spreadsheet. Over time, I'll see how it pans out. I've been out here for about 3 hours now. I'm going to stop in about 15 minutes, just hanging out at a local supermarket parking lot, which is where I'm going to do some grocery shopping once I finish up here. Overall, got about twice as many rides with Uber as I did with Lyft. Uber is still the name brand because whenever you say you're going to take a cab, you always say you're going to take an Uber, regardless of what service you actually use. I will keep relying on my wife, considering she doesn't drive, so she kind of knows when is a good time to take a car service. All my trips were very local. I went 4 times to the train station, which is more than I've ever been there before in my life. So that was a little interesting, but most of the rides were the base fare, which is $3. That's the bare minimum I can earn from a trip. Had a couple of girls that were very, very kind in listening to the story about me and my son and our family struggles. Hopefully they tip big, and if they don't, that's fine. I did get a $2 tip from one of my 2 Lyft rides. Haven't seen any tips from Uber, although I'm not as familiar with the app yet, so I'm not sure exactly how to find out. Nobody's rated me as far as I can tell. I did have my first decline today when I got a Lyft ride and then an Uber ride request, like one after another. I just didn't have enough time to go onto the Uber app and say that I'm not, I just turned myself off. So that was unfortunately, one of the side effects of driving for both at the same time and not having 2 different devices. These were popular. I got a lot of these at home, so I'll make sure to have one in my car. The bag's almost empty. I mean, it was almost empty when I started, but I gave away at least 3. So that's good. So far for the gas I used today, I'm not sure if this is worth it. I earned maybe $33 before tips and bonuses. So besides the first night, I don't know if it's really worth the time. I mean, I could have stayed at home and played video games, maybe taken a nap myself after my son took a nap. So we'll see. We definitely need the money any way it comes. So tomorrow I'll work on the spreadsheet, because the bonuses don't seem to post until the next day or maybe several hours after you switch off. So I'm not exactly sure the timing of that. Also, tips can come in at least 24 hours after. So tomorrow when I get into work, I'll load up the spreadsheet, I'll open the app, and I'll do my numbers and see if it's worth it. Don't think I'm going to record again today, because it's now 6:45, so I'm finishing at 7 o'clock exactly. So I'm going to take my shopping list and go inside and shop. So catch you next time, whenever that is. Later.